Hi, I'm Dr. Elliot Adam from ElliotOracle.com, and it is time for this month's Tarotscope for July 2024. I'm going to do a little mini reading where I pick two cards for each astrological sign. I'm going to start with Aries and end with Pisces. And if you want an even more accurate reading, you might also want to listen to the message for your astrological moon sign and rising sign as well. So without further ado, let's go into this month's Tarotscope for July 2024. First, we're going to start with the astrological sign of Aries. So if you're an Aries or have a lot of Aries in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And the card we get here is the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups holds the most elaborately decorated chalice in the tarot. You can see that it has angels on it. It's like decorated like the Ark of the Covenant. And what this shows is that the Queen of Cups values the element of water. And water in the tarot, it has to do with our feelings, our emotions. And so for you, Aries, this is a month where you really want to tune into your own emotions, your own feelings. Also, the Queen of Cups is unsurpassed when it comes to using her intuition to understanding the situations that are going on around her. So this is a month to be a little bit more sensitive. It's also a month to let things happen in your chest where you're actually feeling it. You're not just thinking through things or pushing for what you want. Queen of Cups is also a very sensitive card when it comes to tuning into the needs of other people. So you might just find that this next month, Aries, you're a little bit more sensitive. You're a little bit more tuned in to the energy that's around you. And as a result of that, sometimes you want to be more selective about the environments that you're going into. So I just think with this Queen of Cups card, this is going to be a time to not only be in touch with your feelings, but also regulate how open you are to others. The advice from your inner wisdom for this next month of July 2024, if you're an Aries, is the Four of Pentacles. And on the Four of Pentacles, we see the miser. He's clutching these four coins so tightly. He's thinking, I need to hang on tight to these things because they're going to make me secure. And yet when we zoom in on his face, you can see that the miser is actually miserable. The Four of Pentacles can indicate attachments to things that are becoming burdensome for you. And when we couple that Four of Pentacles message with the Queen of Cups, this could be a time when you're just a little bit more sensitive. Sometimes that card combo can indicate a little bit of insecurity that you're dealing with this next month. And the insecurity is somehow surrounding an attachment to something that you're mistakenly believing is going to bring you the security. Or it's like, if I just hang on tight to this old reality, then I'm going to be fine. And yet there is a lack of growing going on. And I just feel like that Queen of Cups, she's going to be your guide this next month, Aries, where she's just saying, okay, listen to what your feelings really need right now. Listen to what it's time to release. Listen to maybe the change in your values right now. What did you used to think used to be so important to hang on to? And what now is it clear to you that it's time to release? This is going to be a month really for you, Aries, where you're letting go of some emotional baggage. And it's going to allow you to be light and free as you step into August. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Taurus. So if you're a Taurus or have a lot of Taurus in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the King of Cups reversed. Now, the King of Cups reversed can sometimes indicate that your emotions are overcoming you. The King of Cups will guide you toward ruling your feelings. And when he comes up reversed, he could say that you're in danger of letting your feelings rule you this next month. Also, the King of Cups reverse can indicate that it's so important that you're taking an emotionally mature position when it comes to your interactions with other people this next month. That you're not getting pulled down into those lower vibrations with others, but that you're maintaining your personal dignity and your power. Sometimes the King of Cups reverse can also indicate a bit of insecurity around the things that the astrological sign of Cancer governs, because the King of Cups is associated with that astrological sign. So what is Cancer associated with? Well, home, family, emotions. And King of Cups reverse can say that there's a little bit of feelings of insecurity going on around these sectors of your life. And so the advice from your inner wisdom this next month, Taurus, is the Ten of Pentacles, which is a solid card of home, family. And, Ten of Pentacles reminds us to focus on the big picture, the long game. You can see the old man in the center. He's secure in a life well lived. He's surrounded by loved ones. And what Ten of Pentacles has to do with is legacy, home, ancestors. And when we couple that with the King of Cups reversed, I feel like for whatever reason this July, there's going to be a fleeting sense of insecurity, especially around these aspects of your life. It might feel like something's left you feeling insecure about one of these sectors. And yet that Ten of Pentacles, the advice from your inner wisdom, if you get quiet and listen to that inner wisdom, it's reassuring you that everything's going to be okay in the end. It just might need some time right now. So I just feel for you, Taurus, it's an important month for you not to make a snap judgment by how things appear this next month, but instead to really look at the long game. And if there are issues that are coming up with home or family this next month, be the emotionally mature person in the room. Don't stoop to the lower vibrations. Maintain your dignity at all costs this next month, and you're going to come out on top. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini or have a lot of Gemini in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the Two of Cups reversed. And here, Two of Cups, when it's upright, it's a card of relationships, harmony, balance with others. When it comes up reversed, it can indicate that there's some challenges to overcome, especially when it comes to other people, the people that are you're closest to in your life. You can see between the two in this card, the couple, that there's this wand of Mercury. And Mercury, he's the messenger god, the messenger planet. He rules communication. And at the base of the card now, since it's reversed, above the rod, or now below it, we see that floating lion head. And that lion head for me can represent ego, pride. When the Two of Cups comes up reversed, it really indicates that this is a month when you have to be very artful in how you're speaking to others. Diplomacy is key this next month for you, Gemini. It's so important that you're letting both parties leave the table with their dignity intact, especially if there's a disagreement. Whenever the Two of Cups comes up reversed, it's saying that you need to seek harmony again and balance, and it's through communication. And sometimes we just confuse communication with getting our point across. And yet one major factor in communication is sometimes holding our own tongue and allowing the other person to speak and listening, allowing ourselves to absorb something instead of thinking of the thing we're going to say and retort. This is a card that really says, slow down, take a breath, listen and consider a little bit. The advice from your inner wisdom this next month, if you're a Gemini, is the Emperor card. And the Emperor is all about creating firm foundations for success for you. It can also indicate that there might be some disagreements with others based on this very subject. Going out into the world, creating something for yourself, establishing yourself. The Emperor governs the world, the external world. He holds the orb in his hand, which is a symbol for the globe. And that's his purview. That's his area of influence. It's in the external world. It can sometimes be a card of career establishment or creating firm foundations for success through boundaries. The Emperor is surrounded by those mountains. I feel like this month for you instinctively, Gemini, might be just a time when you're really needed to be artful with communicating with others, and yet still maintaining your balance in your boundaries. Also, the Emperor can indicate that you're needing to use the word no with people occasionally. You're needing to stand up for what you're needing right now. You're needing to protect your feelings, and yet you're needing to do it respectfully. It's not all or nothing. It's not, either I'm a complete doormat and I'm just doing what everyone wants me to do, or I'm a complete, dictator who's blowing up at them and getting my steam off and not really worried about how that affects others. There's a balance here. And so, as is appropriate for Gemini, ruled by Mercury, that communication is so key this next month. The Emperor is telling you to be mature and to speak with authority. And it's also important with that Two of Cups reversed to let both people leave the table with their dignity intact. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Cancer. So if you're a Cancer or have a lot of Cancer in your chart, and by the way, happy birthday to all the Cancers out there, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we actually get the Five of Pentacles, which has been often called the poverty card on the tarot. You can see the people that are outside in the cold, going through the snow. They're walking past that church with its glowing window, implying that it's warm inside, and yet they feel like they don't have a place inside the church. They're outcasts. They're on the outside. The Five of Pentacles has less to do with a dollar amount for me, and it more has to do with our sense of self-worth and worthiness. And sometimes this card challenges us to really believe that we do have a place on the inside, that we don't have to be in the cold on the outside. Five of Pentacles is telling you this next month to focus on feelings of worth in your life. How worth it do you feel? Are you avoiding your best opportunities because you're insecure about what your value really is? Is this a time to really reaffirm what you've been through and how strong you actually are and how capable and qualified you are to enjoy the best life possible? Five of Pentacles is associated with poverty consciousness, which can sometimes feel guilty or obligated. Sometimes this card can represent the desire to please needy individuals around you who are guilting you or pressuring you into, setting them up and keeping them secure. All the while you're selling yourself short. You're wasting your energy. This is a card that really says that it's important for you to know that you're worth it. And when people feel authentic self-esteem, it's very hard to take advantage of them. And so I feel for you, Cancer, this next month, you're needing to really bolster your own sense of self-esteem. You're also needing to know that you're worth it. And you might need to be turning off the spigot to those people in your lives who are kind of just taking more than they're actually giving. No matter how loyal you might feel to them, it is important that you're preserving yourself as well. The advice from your inner wisdom for this next month of July, for you if you're a Cancer, is the Eight of Swords. And the Eight of Swords, like all swords cards that can be sometimes challenging, shows a woman. She's tied up with these ropes. And, she's flanked by these swords. And swords in the tarot, they represent our thoughts, our mind or our mindset. And a lot of people shy away from these challenging cards. And they think, oh no, it's bad. It's going to be a terrible month. It's not. What's happening for you, Cancer, is that you're getting challenged to free yourself. These swords, these thoughts that are keeping you paralyzed in fear about stepping up and doing what you need to do in order to feel victorious, that's the challenge. Here we see the damsel in distress on the Eight of Swords. She's waiting for the hero to swoop in and save her from all her problems, but nobody's coming. And yet, look at her. She's tied with these ropes, and she's literally inches away from these swords. She could cut herself free whenever she decides to do it. I just feel like there's a situation that might be uncomfortable to confront this next month, Cancer, but that is vitally important for you in order to advance and to evolve past that which has been keeping you scared and stuck. The Eight of Swords is a card of toxic passivity, where you're hoping, wishing, waiting for conditions to change, and the only one who can change them is you. And so it's time to repurpose those swords or thoughts that are keeping you trapped, scared, and stuck, and use them as the tools of your liberation to free yourself from anybody who's trying to make you feel less than, anybody that's trying to take more than they're giving. It's important that you're standing up for yourself and you're also seizing upon your strength. And I just feel like this is the month where you're really going to be transforming the energy from feeling victimized by something to feeling victorious over it if you seize your power. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Leo. So if you're a Leo or have a lot of Leo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. We get the Ten of Swords reversed. And, upright or reversed, oftentimes when we see the Ten of Swords, we wince and we're like, ooh, ouch. That doesn't look like it's an easy card. And yet the Ten of Swords reversed indicates that the challenges have already happened. The damage has been done. An ending has been accepted. Sometimes Ten of Swords is a card, when it's reversed, of picking up the pieces after the storm. Now we have that light at the base of the card, the glowing yellow light that's breaking the clouds apart. This card could be coming up to say that you're really looking in retrospect at your life, Leo, where you're letting go of a time where it feels like there's trauma, there's difficulties, there's challenges. There's been an accumulation of things mentally that have been really heavy to deal with. And yet, it's done. It's in the past. A new day is cracking open. And it's so important that you're stepping into this new reality. Sometimes Ten of Swords reversed is also a card of releasing those old bugaboos, those things mentally in your head that are so hard to let go of because you're replaying them in your head. They're making you feel defeated. It is a card of trauma. The Ten of Swords upright or reverse will always call you back to pay attention to those things that need healing in your life. But I have to stress this enough. This is a month where you're secure enough to actually deal with some of this stuff and maybe do some repair work on yourself. It might be a time to give yourself just a little extra tender, loving care. It might also be a time when you're really more understanding of yourself, where you're understanding why you have certain thoughts or why you're feeling stuck by certain things because of these things that have happened in the past. And yet the past is the past. It's so important that you're accepting and absorbing the feelings that are around them, around the past, but you're not getting stuck there. So Ten of Swords is all about repurposing your thoughts again, just like we were talking about with the astrological sign of Cancer with the Eight of Swords. Swords are thoughts in the tarot. And our thoughts, if they can be changed, can really change how we feel. So if you want to change how you're feeling, Leo, this next month, it's so important that you start with your mind and that you get your mind back on your side. And that it's also important for you to release that which no longer serves you. The advice from your inner wisdom this next month of July, if you're a Leo, is the Three of Wands. And, it's so interesting because the Ten of Swords reverse, it's about looking backwards. And the Three of Wands is all about looking forwards. The figure here has outgrown the small island that he's living on. He's richly dressed there, which means he's important in this little corner of his own world, but he's not satisfied with that anymore. It's time to grow. He's looking toward the future, in the distance, over the waters that are glowing orange from sunrise or sunset. And there's that little symbol of the sun again. We saw it even on the Ten of Swords breaking through the clouds. Here we see it dawning on the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is indicating for you, Leo, that despite your worst fears, no matter what happened to you in the past, no matter what you had to deal with before, despite these fears, nothing in your life has been irrevocably screwed up. The future is wide open and waiting. And it is going to follow the lead of your thoughts, how you're framing your opportunities, how you're framing yourself. I wish that this next month would just be you kicking back and enjoying everything and not really thinking about anything heavy. But it is important that you are conscious of this major transformation that's happening for you. There's an inflection point here. There's a threshold you're crossing. And that standing in between the worlds of the past and the future, it's so important right now that you're focusing on where your power really is, which is in the present, in your choices. And it's time to really set out those goals and embark on this next great opportunity. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Virgo. So if you're a Virgo or have a lot of Virgo in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is a card of travel, movement, foreigners, foreign places, foreign or exotic experiences. You can always see behind the Knight of Wands the pyramids of Egypt. And this can indicate that he's outside of the realm he's raised in. He's exposing himself to something new, something exotic. I just feel with this Knight of Wands card, Virgo, it's important for you to try new things, to open yourself up to new experiences. All the knights in the tarot, they're on a quest. And so this could be a time as well for you, Virgo, where you're embarking on your own quest. And the challenge for you is to expose yourself to something new or different, to put yourself in new places, new opportunities. It might even be a time to expose yourself to travel or to get out of your head, get out of the rut and really find a way to escape, find a way to look at things from the outside. Sometimes we get so in our own lives that we forget to look at the forest for the trees. And so Knight of Wands, he calls you out of your little bubble. And he really has you look at things from a distance. And I think that's what's going to really be helpful for you. And also the Knight of Wands is just a card of fun, adventure, excitement. So this could be a month where it's so important that you're making time and planning for those things. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Virgo for this next month of July 2024, is the Ten of Wands. And so two Wands cards, Wands in the tarot, they're like little tree branches. They got the little leaves springing out of the tops of them. This can indicate growth, a time to grow, but also growing pains. And especially in the case of the Ten of Wands, this is a card of having a lot of burdens on your shoulders. And yet, look at this figure. He's just about to cross the finish line. He's just about to cross this threshold. And so for you, Virgo, it's like the job is almost done. You just have this extra little push to give it. And it's time to grow. It's time to evolve. Whenever we see the Knight of Wands and the Ten of Wands together, there's a sense of completion here. There's also a new quest that's calling you. But the inner wisdom for you, Virgo, is telling you to finish the job with the thing that you're involved in right now. Maybe it's time to focus on charting a new course for yourself, but finishing the job with the present course first. So I just feel like there is growth in the air. There's something exciting. Wands, also Ten of Wands, I should say, is a card of harvest. Yeah, it's hard work. Yeah, it's a lot of labor. There's a lot on your shoulders. But this is an autumn card. This is saying that the harvest is coming, especially in the autumn for you, just intuitively speaking. So I just feel like you want to keep going, Virgo, this month. You want to look ahead at future possibilities and the new quest that's available to you. But you also want to finish the job with what's in front of you now. So just keep, being determined and stay focused on that goal, and you're going to find that you cross the finish line this month. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Libra. So if you're a Libra or have a lot of Libra in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the Two of Swords, which is a very Libran sort of card. It's one that really evokes a sense of balance. On the Two of Swords, we see a woman who's in the state of the in-between. She's in between the sky and the sea, in between the phases of the new moon and the full moon. And she's balancing these two swords of which she's sitting in between. And so for me, the Two of Swords is a card of making peace with the in-between. And you may be starting this month out, Libra, having a blindfold on, not really knowing what's next, maybe even feeling a little uneasy about it. And yet look at how calm and serene this woman on the Two of Swords is, because she knows that the in-between times are where the magic of life is really happening. And I just feel for you, Libra, that this is a time where you're in between two worlds. There's a transition moment, and you're not quite in your past life. You're not in the future life you're creating. You're kind of in this weird amorphous middle place. And yet there's creativity to be found here. The moon in the tarot is often a symbol for our inner authentic self, and that authentic self is calling you home. So I just feel like this is the month to make the peace with the in-between, the thing that feels unsettled, unfinished in your life. It will come to some sense of closure soon, but it's so important for you to just get calm, to get quiet, to listen to your inner wisdom. The last thing I'll say about the Two of Swords is it has so much in common with the High Priestess card. We see these two women seated before this vast ocean. And I like to think, especially in the High Priestess and the Two of Swords card, that vast ocean is a symbol for every drop of water being a lifetime, an experience, a sea of wisdom that you've accumulated lifetime after lifetime. And even though you might be scared or nervous or anxious about the things you can't see in this life with what's in front of you right now, the Two of Swords asks you to tap into that deeper inner wisdom, the wisdom of the crescent moon. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Libra, for this next month of July 2024 is the Ten of Cups. And the Ten of Cups is a card of happy endings. You know, you can see the couple here and the kids are dancing and there's a rainbow in the sky. And I always like to say, don't let that rainbow fool you. Yes, the Ten of Cups is a card of gratitude, something going your way. It might even be a time where with that Two of Swords, you're feeling like you're going through a limbo and then it breaks and you find that there's a resolution. There's a happy ending here. But that rainbow implies that there was a storm before. Rainbows only appear after a storm. And so, Libra, this too might have been a time where you've been going through your own share of storms. And that this is a card that says that there's hope for the future. Rainbows are messengers. In ancient Greece, the rainbow goddess was named Iris, and she delivered messages too. This is a month of signs, signals, and also miraculous divine intervention. It's so important that you're walking into this next month with gratitude, even with the unfinished things in your life, knowing that things are coming to a beautiful resolution. And so I just feel like July is a wonderful month of transition, but also gratitude for a new day dawning and hope for the future as well. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio or have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the moon reversed. Now, the moon in Latin is luna, and in Spanish too. And it's from luna that in English we get our word lunatic from. And that encapsulates that moon reverse so much. Moon reverse represents those feelings that are going on unconsciously that are causing anxiety. You don't know why they're there. It doesn't always make sense why you're feeling the way you feel. And yet, the more you try to distract yourself, repress the feeling, distract yourself, binge watch television, have another drink, whatever, the more crazy, unlucky, weird you're feeling. So the moon reversed really tells you to stop what you're doing. Stop the process of trying to stay unconscious and tune inward. Tune into what that inner instinctive wisdom is trying to tell you. Sometimes this card says that it's so important for you to feel an uncomfortable feeling. And yet, by resisting that feeling, it has you in a chokehold. It is making you feel crazy and unsettled. And yet, if you can feel that feeling, Scorpio, it's so cathartic. And that feeling starts to loosen its grip on you. I just feel like this is a time to listen to what's going on unconsciously with you. Don't just, distract yourself, try to keep yourself busy, avoid. The moon reversed is really telling you to pay attention. Something important is churning below the surface. It wants to come to the surface. And yet there's wisdom to be found with the moon, upright or reversed. This is a card of trusting your instincts. And so Scorpio, you need to stop and take a moment and really breathe into what that unconscious feeling is telling you. And maybe this message is for Virgos too, because I just let that slip and there's never a mistake with that. Advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Scorpio. Whoop, this one flipped out and we get the Empress, who for me is my absolute favorite card in the tarot. For me, the Empress is the symbol of the mother goddess. She's that instinctive voice that's below your fear, your anxiety, or worry, that's whispering everything's going to be okay, because everything is growing in the garden of your life at its appropriate time, just as it's supposed to. And so it's so important for you, Scorpio, to be patient with the big picture. The Empress doesn't stress about how the flowers are going to bloom. She just knows that they will. And so too, you don't have to stress about how will it all work out, because it just will. The Empress is also the mother of the tarot. She's nurturing. Sometimes she has to do with maternal energy. There could be a focus on kind of being maternal and nurturing other people. But the Empress can also guide you toward nurturing yourself. And especially when we have that moon reversed, it might be a time to nurture your emotions this next month. Nothing too much. Be compassionate. Wear the crown of 12 stars. Look at things from that higher perspective, Scorpio, and you'll see everything in its context. And just breathe and know that it's all going to work out in the end when the Empress appears. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Sagittarius. So if you're a Sagittarius or have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we have the Strength card. And Strength for me is a card of perseverance. The woman on the Strength card is wearing the white gown, and she represents your higher self, and she's taming the lion. And the lion represents the things that feel out of control in your life. And for everybody, the lion's different. Some people, the lion is their fear. Some people, the lion is their ego, their rage. Some people, the lion is an appetite or an addiction. Fill in the blank. But always, this card shows the importance of letting your higher self take the lead, to rein in that thing in your life that, if left unchecked, could consume you utterly. Strength card says that you are going to persevere when you exercise your strength. And just like exercising muscles in a gym, strength is required as a daily practice. It's not just one and done. Strength is about meeting that challenge day after day, still staying focused on your goals, and still believing in yourself and your ability to tame the lion. Also, strength could just indicate that you are persevering over the thing that's been a struggle up until now. And I just feel like this is a month where you're stepping into your strength, stepping into your power, and also your confidence. The advice from your inner wisdom if you're a Sagittarius, for July, is the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is a card of accepting good things when they're offered, or at least that's the advice of the card. You can see the figure here who's seated under the tree. He's worried about the future. He's maybe stuck in the minutia. He's thinking about the past. He's stuck in his feelings, and he is blind to the fact that right in front of his nose is a marvelous gift that's being offered to him, as if from the heavens. A hand is coming out of the cloud offering him the golden cup, and he just can't see it. A lot of times the Four of Cups is telling you that right in front of your nose, Sagittarius, there's a gift, an opportunity that's being offered. It might require perseverance and inner strength and fortitude, symbolized by that strength card. But you won't persevere if you don't accept the gift. This card can also say that it's really easy for you to get stuck in your feelings, in your head about something, and that might make you miss the wonder of the opportunity that's in front of you. I feel like when Four of Cups comes up, it's a card that's just basically encouraging you to say yes. Say yes to what's being offered. Stop resisting it. Stop closing yourself off. Notice your own body language, your posture, even your psychic posture. Are you like the guy on the Four of Cups with the arms crossed across the chest, the legs crossed in that closed, blocked position? Or are you open to the spirit of adventure? I just feel like you're going to persevere this next month, but you need to accept the opportunity and know that you're strong enough to meet it. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Capricorn. So if you're a Capricorn or have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the Nine of Pentacles, a lovely card here. A lot of times this card's keywords are wealth, luxury, and we can see this woman in her garden enjoying all the fruits of her labors, all the fruits of her patience as well. At the hem of her dress is a little snail, which represents the slow process of growth toward wealth or wealth consciousness. If you're worried about career or making a good decision with that Capricorn this next month, this is a yes card. This is an absolute confirmation that you're on the right track. Also, the Nine of Pentacles does have that connotation of patience and self-restraint. The woman has a falcon resting on her left hand, which is gloved. You know, the left hand, it's the hand of receptivity. And the gloved left hand can indicate a protectiveness of what you're allowing yourself to receive, Capricorn. And the falcon, the hooded falcon, falcons are normally known for their speed, their prowess at hunting. They're also known for their sight. And yet this falcon's being restrained by his mistress. He has a little hood on. He's not able to see what's ahead. And he's being restrained in his energy. This represents self-control. I just feel for you, Capricorn, it's important to hold back your energy. Stay committed to the long term. Stay committed to your goal. You're on the path towards success and wealth and luxury, but you might need to be patient with how fast you're going after it. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're a Capricorn for this next month, is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups has been called the messenger of love in the tarot. Sometimes he has to do with relationships, and he wears the winged helmet and shoes of Mercury, the messenger god, so he can sometimes represent communication in relationships. And whether these are relationships that are close, like loving relationships, intimate relationships, or whether they're professional relationships, communication is key with the Knight of Cups. However, a lot of people just stop there with the Knight of Cups. They just call him the messenger of love, and they think that he only represents a boyfriend coming in or a girlfriend or any friend. And yet, a lot of times, the Knight of Cups more can symbolize a messenger of your bliss. He's telling you to go toward what your heart really wants right now, to be honest with yourself. Because the fact of the matter is, you only get one lifetime in your current incarnation, in your current form and identity. And so you might as well make this lifetime the best lifetime possible. And by doing the practice, by embarking on the quest of going toward your bliss, you could ensure that for yourself. Next, we're going to go into the astrological sign of Aquarius. So if you're an Aquarius or have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And this card flipped out of the deck, the King of Swords. The King of Swords is one of the most stern figures in the tarot. I mean, we look at him in this card and he's rather grim. He's the upholder of the status quo. And sometimes he can feel a little stifling. King of Swords is all about keeping order. He's not an evil king. That's not his intention at all. He's protecting his realm by doing what he knows. The King of Swords can also represent resistance to change. There's an unbending quality to the King of Swords. Sure, his throne is decorated with butterflies, but they're in stone, which can sometimes represent a freezing of a transformation or the desire to do that. And yet, what happens to things that cannot bend? King of Swords can sometimes represent a need for us to be a little bit more flexible about our situation. Also, the King of Swords can indicate that this is a time for you to ask if the status quo is really what's contributing to your best life. Just naturally, Aquarius is, ruled by the planet Uranus, which has to do with rebellion, working against the status quo, breaking things up, change, revolution. That's all so not the King of Swords energy. There might be a little bit of a conflict this next month for you, Aquarius, where you have this desire to kind of break it all and be free and do what you want to do. And yet the King of Swords does represent external rules or parameters that you have to operate within. This might be a month where there's not a lot of wiggle room for you, and yet you can change the King of Swords' mind. However, you have to do it through reasoned arguments and logic. So my advice for you, Aquarius, this next month is to do the most sensible, logical thing. Not the impulsive thing, not the desired thing, but to be really practical and pragmatic. And also learn to bend, learn to be flexible. Aquarius can be a fixed sign. They can get really set in their ways. And so this could be a month where you're really just allowing yourself to adapt and to bend in your own assumptions. The advice from your inner wisdom, if you're Aquarius, for July is the Queen of Pentacles. And we see the Queen of Pentacles in her garden, and it's not in full bloom yet, but the Queen's not worried about that. She's focused on the coin in her lap. She's focused on her goal. And there's a rabbit in her garden with her. It's in the bottom corner. And the rabbit can symbolize anxiety, nervous energy. It can also symbolize fertility and good luck. But for me, the rabbit can also be a bit of a nervous animal. And I just like to think that the Queen of Pentacles isn't staring at the rabbit. She's not staring at her anxiety, her worries about the future. She's staring at her practical goals, the things she's trying to manifest. And so too with you, Aquarius. This is going to be a month for you where you want to stay focused on what's practical. What are you building for the future? The Queen of Pentacles will always guarantee an abundant harvest, but only if you're turning away from your fear and staying focused on what it is that you're truly building at this time. And finally, last but certainly not least, we'll go into the astrological sign of Pisces. So if you're a Pisces or have a lot of Pisces in your chart, this first card is going to be where it's best for you to place your focus for July 2024. And we get the Nine of Swords. And the Nine of Swords has been called the worst card of the deck. And it's not the worst card of the deck because this card is saying you're going to have the worst month ever. Get that out of your head right now. The Nine of Swords has been called the worst card of the deck because it affects your perspective. It affects your mind. And you're not alone, Pisces. There were a couple other signs this month that are really dealing with some heavy mental stuff. The Nine of Swords has to do with fears, thoughts that keep you up at night. It rules anxiety, worries, grief, things that you just can't let go of. And yet the figure on this card is covered with this blanket. And if you zoom in on the blanket, it's covered with all the astrological signs. And what that's a symbol for is that you are safe, you are protected, and that you're needing to look at things in the context of the eternal, the big picture. For me, the Nine of Swords, the antidote to it is sunlight, to come out of the dark. Do not ruminate this next month. Do not go through your challenges alone. Ask for help when needed. Allow other people to know what your fears are. Sometimes it's important to just go up to a trusted friend or counselor and say, am I crazy or is this what's really happening? And they'll say, no, actually, this is what's happening. Or maybe did you look at it from this different perspective? The Nine of Swords does not say the worst things are going to happen to you. It's saying that the things that you're experiencing in your life are going through a filter where you're in danger of really casting a lot of negativity on what you're seeing. It's like having a beautiful sunny day, but wearing glasses that are besmirched with dirt. So no matter where you look, it just looks like everything's dirty. It's not that the day is wrong, it's the perspective. And so Nine of Swords challenges you, Pisces, to shift perspective. And if you're having trouble breaking out of that yourself, this could be a time when you're reaching out for help or support from others. The advice from your inner wisdom this next month, if you're a Pisces, is another 9, the 9 of Cups. 2 9s show up for you, Pisces. And what do 9s mean? Well, they're the last single digit number before 10. And when we add the 2 digits of 10 together, we get 1. And so 9 is the I'm almost done number. It's a card of wisdom and mastery. And I just feel like these 9s couldn't be more opposite from each other. The 9 of Cups, I love thinking about this quote from Rosalind Russell from Auntie Mame. You got to see that movie. It's so good. But she says, life is a banquet and most poor suckers are starving to death. It's a bit of a tongue twister. But what she means by that is that the banquet is spread in front of you. Life is actually wonderful, but you may be starving. You may not be enjoying it because you're looking through the lenses of the 9 of Swords. The 9 of Cups is associated with wishes, intentions, and making new intentions for your life and yourself. It's a card of setting the table for your future success. But in order to do that, you need to have your mind on your side. And so I just feel like this is a time of almost complete, and it's a time where you really do have the 2 9s. And the 9 that you fixate on is the one that's going to get stronger for you this next month. And so which one are you going to choose to affirm? It's so important that you're focusing on setting the table for that future success. And that is my Tarotscope for July 2024. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe the video. Subscribe to my videos if you want more tarot content. I do hope you're going to have a wonderful, empowering month of July. And I will see you here every day, every week, with my weekly oracles, my daily card pulls, and then every month with my Tarotscope videos. Please do take care of yourself and enjoy your month of July. And I'll see you again here next time.